Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Assumption Effect with your amazing, fabulous hosts who are your favorite podcasters, Nikki and Flossie. Today, we are going to talk about an exciting topic of stop losing control and have that be stop losing control of yourself and your mind.
Yep. So we see a lot of this in this community. In fact, we see a lot of drama in this community. And I think it's because a lot of people either have misinformation or they feel like they got to be on one extreme or the other.
Stop being the drama llama.
And drama llama, jeez. But they're either completely obsessed with their desire and they have lost themselves in it. And that is a huge problem. And they're like, I have my sights on this and I can't go anywhere else. I have seen people have come to us. They have ruined their jobs, their relationships, their family dynamic. They've neglected their children, their friendships. They have completely isolated themselves because they are literally losing their mind over obsessing over a desire or being so hyper focused on it.
So here's part of the deal. For an analogy, let's say you incorporate going to the gym as part of your lifestyle and you're pretty reasonable about it. So you might go to the gym for 30 minutes to an hour, like 6 days a week, and you work out different parts of your body when you go and you enjoy when you go there and it becomes an enjoyable activity to you. Compared to people who get hyper focused on going to the gym because maybe they in the 3D and 3D thinking only have given themselves a month to lose 2 or 3 dress sizes or clothing sizes if they're a male. And they legit are going to the gym 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, because they've got to spend an hour and a half doing cardio and then they're doing weights and then they're doing a class. And they're literally like exhausting themselves because their whole life has become consumed with work, sleep, and gym and
Hmm.
there is nothing else. Their relationships all go straight into the toilet. Their life goes straight in the toilet. I think that we all have known somebody who's done that at some point in our life where they just got too obsessive with like going to the gym. And we're thinking, good Lord, settle it the fuck, settle it down. Like take it down a few notches. You only need to go like 32 minutes to an hour a day, 6 days a week.
When I can see your heartbeat when you're like just 10 miles away from me and I can see your veins pumping, like you got a problem. But that's positive. Is it positive toxicity is really where there's that fine line there. So is it good to go work out? Yeah. We're pro workout. Can you overdo a good thing? Yes, and you can't obsess over it. And I think what we're trying to get at here is some people literally lose themselves and their entire mind, their entire mindset stops. It's like, I'm going to forget everything in my life except SP. I'm going to forget everything in my life except money. Or I don't know, whatever else people are obsessing over right now. And I get it. I totally get it. There's points in our life where we're like, we could not live without something. And then we've had realizations. Of course, mine have been different than Flossie's, but my own personal realizations were like, why? One day I woke up and I'm like, I have literally lost touch with friends. I have lost touch with family members. I'm not working like I'm supposed to be. I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. I stopped going on dates with my kids. I had kid dates, fun things. But, and I realized I'm like, why am I so needy over this one thing? And it was a self-realization, it was a me problem. It was a self-concept issue within me. And it may not be a self-concept issue with you. Maybe you are neurospicy and you just hyper focus on something. But you gotta, just like our last podcast where we're talking about, living that fine line, you gotta rip yourself out of that and come back to the 3D. Come back and live your life because I have seen this cause mental disorders in people. Now, I'm not a physician, I can't label as such, but I have had clients come to me, my anxiety's been terrible, or I've developed anxiety, or I've developed depression, whether it be from isolating themselves or obsessing over something.
Well, and as Nikki was saying, like, you shouldn't have this control your life, you need to stop losing control of yourself and stop losing yourself because of a manifestation. Manifestation's a lifestyle. You cannot not manifest. You've always been manifesting. You were manifesting even when you were spiritually asleep. But now that you're spiritually awake and you know that you manifest, this doesn't mean that you have to like affirm literally 24/7, 365. We say adopt, a more positive mindset and like let go of some of the negativity because we've grown up in societies where there's so much negative thinking that of course some things that are unpreferred have come into our lives because that's how we've been kind of taught to think overall. But since this is a lifestyle, it would be like, if someone adapts a healthy lifestyle of like going to the gym, and again using that 3D example, they find a way to fit it in, but it also works in their life and becomes an enjoyable activity. Affirming and manifesting should be the same thing. It's supposed to be more of a fun activity that now that you're consciously manifesting and you're having purposeful repetition of thought, you don't have to affirm 24/7. Create a routine that works for you where you're taking time that maybe you would have wasted and put your affirming there, but you can still enjoy activities. I mean, for people who robotic affirm, you shower, you get ready for work, or there's mundane tasks that you do. Use those times to affirm that you wouldn't have been doing anything else but a mundane task anyway. If you're somebody who visualizes, you know, figure out like how you want to fit that in for you, whether you are just taking a set time a few times a day. And we've talked about like affirming schedules, and you can go back to those type of videos, but like look at your life and be like, how can I fit this in where it's not going to take too much away from my life as far as my routines go? And then I'm just going to work on having a better, cleaner mental diet. And I'm going to use some tools so that I don't feel as stressed out, anxious, sad, or depressed about the things that I'd like. And I'm not going to cut myself off from everyone in my life and all my activities that I enjoy just because I'm consciously manifesting. Like, stop cutting yourself off from stuff. And if things happen in the 3D that aren't your preference, well, whip those tools out instead of losing your mental control that you have. Like, that's one of the things that you have as operant powers. You have the ability to control you and to control your mind and to control like how you're feeling and how you're doing. I mean, you can create better versions of yourself.
I think some of you really need to focus on controlling the obsession and controlling like how much you're actively thinking about your desire all the time. And I'm not high pot meet kettle because that used to be me, but I kind of want to compare it. Like you have your manifestations and then you have confirmation bias. And I think some of you really hyper focus on the desire so much that you just keep thinking about the desire, thinking about it more. And confirmation bias is really where you like focus on one thing and you start experiencing more of that thing. So, say for instance, you get a new car and that car's, I don't know, a Jeep.
BMW, Honda Accord,
Sure, thank you. I'm terrible at
Mercedes.
Mercedes. It's a Mercedes. So you just buy a new Mercedes, it's cherry red or whatever color you love, and then you start seeing more of that car. And it happens to people all the time. Or you get a new shirt and now you see somebody else with that other shirt. Or you start seeing things like that pop up. It's confirmation bias. Your mind is automatically drawn to something that you're familiar with because you're seeing it a lot or thinking about it a lot. So that can actually happen to you and start causing you to obsess if you don't take time out for yourself. Now, another analogy I really like that I've been using a lot lately is algorithm. Like everybody's talking about the algorithm. I love getting on Instagram and watching reels and stuff like that. And people are like, why is my algorithm so fucked up? Well, it's because, cookies and things and cash. Like when you're on a website or something like that to buy something and you go back to Facebook, you're going to start getting retargeted ads, right? That's the algorithm. So in your mindset, you're like setting your own algorithm up, right? So just like with social media, you're going to start paying attention to more things relationship related if you start paying attention to more things about your SP or what you're lacking. So the more you focus on the negative aspect, you're going to start realizing more negative aspects in your life, which is why mindset's so important because the more you focus on the positive, living in the in, flipping the mental diet, all those things, you're going to start noticing more positive things in your life. Your life in general is going to be more enjoyable. You're going to be more excitable about things you're going to look forward to things coming up rather than that lack that you're missing and, change the obsession. Some people are just obsessive by nature, and I know that's an assumption, but I've met quite a few. Maybe me even, but you have to change the focus of the obsession. So I don't know if those are bad or good analogies. I'm just talking to talk.
But what Nikki wasn't referring to when she was talking about noticing things like with the vehicles, she's not talking about when you're manifesting
Oh no.
something particular that's rare. She's also not talking about like when, when you see an indicator that you're on the right path or something that's a bird before land. She's not talking about those type of things. She's just talking about like, you know, you get a red Mercedes, like she said, and you start noticing them more, but they were something that already existed and were more common than what you thought. There are a lot of things that we work on manifesting that are not common, well, especially when we do the wouldn't it be funny if list, and we pick things that we know that we basically like hardly ever see or that is rare, like the Wienermobile that Nikki manifested seeing
Oh
when it
my
was on
God.
her list.
It's
Um, I mean, how often do you see that? Like, I don't even, maybe I've seen that once in my entire life, like in person or whatever. And, but she's not referring to those things. So don't freak out if like your SP has an extremely unusual name and you've seen their SP or you met someone else with that name. That was a birds before land. She's just talking about, you buy a red Mercedes or you're looking at pictures of red Mercedes and you may notice them more, but they were already out there to begin with. Having said all that, you know, it's just get control over your mind and how you're starting to, react to things. Like your mind is under your control. We don't have to obsess over a manifestation. You can think about it, you can want it, you can desire it, you can absolutely feel like you need it, but there's a difference in between that and like literally equating it to the breath that you need to live.
mm-hmm.
I'm
I
going to tell you right now, I might have a different opinion than some people out there, and there might be some people like, well, what the I think SPs are a dime a dozen. I'm sorry, but I do. You're the operant power of your reality. If you get tired of an SP and you decide that you want someone new, you could have someone new as quick as snapping your finger if you really wanted to, because you can manifest someone new in who has exactly what you want, despite what the 3D reflects back to you as far as the eligible people for whatever it is that you prefer as qualities. I don't care if you live in an area where there's 20 people who live there. If you're manifesting a specific person, there will be someone who shows up in your town, or you will be, taken somewhere with inspired action or moved because, that's how your God self is moving you for you to get your manifestation. Um, my clients, if they want a new SP, I'm like, no worries. I have a lot of people who manifest a new SP because they get their self concept up and they're like, you know what? I know I manifested this person who wasn't treating me very well, and maybe there were like some toxic qualities in our relationship, but I'm the operant power. I can manifest someone new. Or if I get bored of this person, I can get someone new. And I'm not saying that to not value your relationships. I'm just saying that people get so caught up on a person, or they get so caught up on like manifesting a very specific job. And it's like you can manifest that anywhere, anytime, because it will show up. It'll be created in your reality. Facts. I'm not saying that you can't specifically get what you want, because of course you can, but you don't have to make it to where your life ceases to exist without that manifestation, because it doesn't have to cease to exist without that manifestation. You can manifest anything that you want at any time that you want. Just stop creating resistance for yourself by obsessing and acting and thinking as if you can't have it, because you're causing your own unintentional delay when you don't have yourself mentally under control in regards to your manifestation. And this isn't me trying to say anything mean or belittle anybody in any way, because Nikki and I have both been there when our mind wasn't under our total complete control, and we were what? Causing our own unintentional delays by what? Obsessing and constantly negatively thinking about our manifestation and constantly reaffirming that we didn't have it and constantly looking for it. Because why? We didn't have ourselves under control because we were losing control, which is why we're talking about this to you now.
exactly, and excuse me there.
We made plenty of mistakes. We're not sitting up here acting like, we're perfect people and that our manifestation journeys have been perfect, because they have not been perfect. There have been times that we both have had areas of struggle, and we try to be pretty transparent about that, because we don't want people who listen to our content and think that we're great manifestors think that we just woke up and found the law of assumption and then began manifesting perfectly straight out of the gate and never struggled with the concepts or with putting it into practice, because we have, but we've been doing it for years and years and years and years and have figured out how it works for us. So we manifest shit like this, but that took some time for us personally. Can you become that way quicker? Of course you can. And we sit here and try to tell you some pitfalls to avoid that we personally endured. Why? So that maybe you can get there so fast and be a master of manifesting quicker than what we ever did.
Right. Nope, totally agree. Totally agree. And, we've been there, we get it. We're not high and mighty. But what makes Flossie and myself good teachers, good coaches, is because not only do we understand it, but we've lived it, we've experienced it. We have our own setbacks we've had to work through, our own downfalls, our own negative mindsets, our own old stories, circumstance, and all those things, and we've overcome them. And I think we both can safely say, if we can do it, so can you. And
Everybody's going to come to this journey for one reason or another. It might be that they are an information seeker. It might be that they had something happen in life that leads them to discovering the law of assumption and manifesting. But at the end of the day, everybody has their own journey and their own baggage or situations that they've come with, their own assumptions that don't work for them. And everybody has something that they're navigating through at one point or another. And we're just saying, hey, keep your mind more under your control, live and enjoy your life. Don't lose yourself or lose control of yourself or lose control of your mind over anything that you're manifesting, because no manifestation is worth more than you. You're the operant power. Why should any manifestation be above you? You're literally like the God of your reality. You're the operant power of your reality. Or if you want to look at it as that your God is working through you, that's what makes you powerful. And no one or no thing should be above you. It should be, at least at a minimum equal to you, or maybe slightly, not that we look down upon people, but I don't consider my manifestations above me.
no,
They're not worth more than me. I'm the manifester.
exactly. Perfectly said. And with that, we will see you guys next time. Love you so much.
Bye.
Oh.